mid-morning update for the rest of the day. One more day of a few thunderstorms to get through later this afternoon after lunch. Highs today in the middle to upper 70s, around 77. One or two of these storms could briefly become strong. We're really not looking at anything too widespread. And once we get past today, we're going to start to see some lower rain coverage. But again, this afternoon, a few showers and storms definitely a possibility. And we will see these weekend once we move past sunset. Moving into Wednesday, maybe a
Hey everyone, good morning and welcome into Mid Morning. Dr. Keith Watson is joining me in studio today. Dr. Watson, thanks so much.
Good morning.
Look guys, we are going to be talking about physical labor, exercising, but I got to tell you, Dr. Watson helped us put this table in here this morning, so we got to appreciate
Got my weightlifting in. Yeah.
Okay, so last time you were on, we talked about, dieting for kids, picky eaters,
Right.
and, we kind of established that. Now we want to talk about physical activity for kids. So Dr. Watson, what age should we really make sure that our kids are exercising?
I think any age they need to be active.
Mm-hmm.
There can be too much sitting in front of the TV,
Oh, yeah.
eating potato chips and playing video games. Most health experts recommend at least an hour of physical activity every day.
Okay.
Obviously here in Mississippi, this time of year, weather permitting, given all this rain.
All the rain.
But at least an hour physical activity outside, moving, rather than sitting on the couch. As I tell my kids, thumb exercises don't count.
Now, so with you being a pediatrician, have you seen the increase of screen time and less physical activity in the last few years?
Absolutely. It is, I'll use the word, it is epidemic.
Okay.
The lack of physical activity that our younger people are getting because of technology.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm one to say, like, I'm always looking at my screen.
Yes.
I'm looking at a screen right here. Do you guys over here?
I sit in front of a desk in between patients looking at a screen typing. So, it is what it is, but trying to get activity is important, especially for young people.
And so let's just say we've got maybe a 5-year-old. What type of activities would you recommend for that age group?
5-year-old, just go to a park with mom and dad and just get outside and, run and explore and play, or walk around the neighborhood with mom and dad. Just some kind of physical activity where you get some outdoor exposure.
I like how we can count playing at the park, because
Sure.
I don't feel like you think of playing as an activity, but
No. Exercise does not have to be running marathons and throwing weight
Thank
around.
you. Blowing a whistle,
Walking.
yelling at someone.
The healthiest exercise in the world is walking.
Okay. And then, let's talk about these older kids. Summer is almost here for some of them. A lot of the kids will now start weightlifting for sports.
Correct.
What do you recommend for those, I guess, smaller kids who are now having to lift weights? I remember being really scrawny and lifting a 5-pound weight, and I thought I was going to die. I mean, I still could die right now because I'm out of shape.
I don't recommend weightlifting younger than 13.
Okay.
An adolescent or a young child should not lift weights.
Okay.
Your teenagers who are getting into your junior high and high school can lift weights, but there should be guidelines to follow. You don't lift weights alone. Lift with a coach or a teacher or a trainer, at least initially, who can show you how to lift weights properly.
Okay.
Lifting a weight, if you don't do it the right way, doesn't work the muscle
that you need
it to work. And so putting on too much weight to try to show off for your friends or maybe the girl you've got the crush on is not the thing to do.
Yeah.
Lift lightweight, learn how to lift properly and safely. And then as you gain experience and you improve your strength and coordination, then the weights can go up.
Okay.
And you should never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, if you are under the age of 18 and you still have growth to do, you should not be maxing out.
Oh, okay. Interesting, guys. We'll keep up with that topic when we come back, so stay with us. All right, guys, welcome back. So me and Dr. Watson were just talking before we left for the break. Kids lifting weights. I know a lot of teenagers and young kids are kind of starting to do that as they're getting into sports. And we said, a child under the age of 18 should not be maxing out. And why do you say that, Dr. Watson?
Younger than 18, most human bodies are still growing. The bones of the arms and legs, or any of the bones, they're not solid yet. You still have growth plates. And the growth plates they're not soft, but they're softer than solid bone. And so growth plates can be damaged if you do too much weight.
Yeah.
And if the growth plate is damaged, then the bone doesn't grow properly. And there's no statistical reason to max out. You don't gain anything from maxing out other than maybe setting a personal goal, but it doesn't help you in the sports world to max out. And so young people should not max out. Adults really probably shouldn't max out, but at least it's a safer thing to do if you follow the right guidelines.
Now, if we do see these, young kids or teens deciding, they are going to lift weights, how often should they be lifting the weights then? Or how often should they not be lifting the weights? What's a good balance?
You could lift weights every day, but you have to understand that you need to lift different lifts.
Okay. You don't need to do legs every day.
You don't want to do legs every day, because if you lift and you put some strain or some work into those legs, the next day they are going to be sore, probably. And if they're sore, then you may not lift properly if you try to lift again because they're sore. And if they're sore, they're more susceptible to damage or injury. So you lift, your muscles are sore because you work them out, you give them time to recover. So lift legs on Monday, but don't lift legs again on Tuesday. Have a workout routine established through the week that targets all these different muscle groups. In other words, if you're going to start lifting weights and you're not experienced, talk to a coach,
okay, that's a good one.
Doctor, or a trainer. You can go by a gym. They have personal trainers. And if you wanted to get a membership at a gym, granted, there's a cost there, but if you got a membership at a gym, personal trainer could help you work out and start you on a routine that's effective for what you're needing it for and is safe.
And I also feel like, as a young kid or teen decide to work out, it might be good having some guidance because, like many people, you go to the gym and you kind of are lost and just start at one little thing. But Dr. Watson, also talk about, are injuries worse for kids if they are lifting weights compared to adults? And can it stunt any growth or anything?
No, if you lift weights properly, then you're not going to affect growth and growth in any way. Injuries just depends upon the injury.
Gotcha.
Depending on what you do lifting. I've injured myself outside of weightlifting, and I've injured myself actually weightlifting, and it depends upon what you do. None of them are fun.
Yeah, I don't think they would be. All right, guys. Well, if you have any questions anytime for Dr. Watson, you can always contact him. He's right here in West Point. But guys, that's all the time we have. We'll be right back.